Alright, I don't know what to tell you people. Uh, this Hell in a Cell event was good until the main event and it screwed the whole fucking show up. The Hell in a Cell match with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns was by far the most atrocious, horrible, put together matchup I have ever seen. One of the laziest load of bullshit. It is fucking pathetic. There is no thought behind this shit. Anything with Roman Reigns is complete garbage, and we wonder why Roman Reigns can't get over as a face. He couldn't get over as a heel. He can't get over as anything in this company. They protect him too fucking much. He is too much. He gets way too much protection. It's as simple as that. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns' match was actually going kind of smoothly. I was enjoying it. I really wasn't bored of it too much. When you had these two guys together last year, I was entertained watching it. I mean, they're not great wrestlers or anything, but they really beat the shit out of each other and give you a real, kind of an authentic brawl. But after they both knocked each other out, we get a fucking load of chaos going around the ring. First, we get Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler trying to bust into the cage. For what? Braun Strowman had it under control. He kicked out of a spear through a table. I don't understand the reasoning behind that one. I do understand Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose coming down to even the odds. That made sense. But it didn't help the match in any way, shape, or form. And then you have Brock Lesnar show up. And, regardless of, champion gets a rematch in WWE, okay? That's generally the protocol of when a former champion loses his title. It's obvious. And it was rumored that Brock Lesnar was actually there at the event. Fine by me. He's the only one that really had a reason to be there in the first place. It made the title seem less important. It made the gang warfare seem more important than the championship belt. The only one that had a right to be there and interfere in that match was Brock Lesnar. But for it to end in a no contest? A draw, per se? Come on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE Hell in a Cell 2018 review. I never posted a preview video because I didn't really care so much about this event. But the show was decent. I was not unhappy with the show. It actually was entertaining. Most people that won, I thought was the right person to win. Becky Lynch, I'll get into that once we get to that matchup. But this matchup per se is probably the most disappointing matchup I have ever seen. Okay, so we were supposed to expect Roman Reigns to lose or to win. Give us the fucking thing and get it over with. No, we have Roman Reigns do nothing at all, gets his ass kicked, and we don't get to see the title change to Braun Strowman. We couldn't at least see Brock Lesnar put his arm over, Braun Strowman's arm. Brock Lesnar putting Braun Strowman's arm over on Roman Reigns to screw him over out of the title and have Braun Strowman win it. Something of that kind of nature and get a triple threat match at like a Survivor Series event or something. No, we just see a no contest. That way at Survivor Series, we can see Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns once again for the Universal Championship one-on-one in the main event. We have seen Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns face each other every fucking main event of a major pay-per-view. Why would anyone care to see this shit anymore? People are chanting, "Thank you, Brock." No. You guys are fucking stupid in San Antonio. I don't know what fucking drugs you guys were taking, but what the hell was that? Ugh. The match could have just been nice to just end it with a fucking finish. I don't care if it was Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman at this point. It's all fucking bullshit anyway with that Universal title and with Roman Reigns and his entire fucking propaganda they got going on. Brock Lesnar served his purpose. Go back to UFC and get fucking lost, please. Or have a new person to rival with. Or do something other than challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Can Vince McMahon find you something else to do? Are you that fucking pathetic? Or they got no other ideas for you? So Roman Reigns is the guy, huh? Get the fuck out of here. This is such bullshit. I am so fucking pissed off. I spent 3 hours enjoying a show and then it had to be ended with a no contest. Hell in a Cell rules means there is a winner. There's no end until someone is pinned and defeated. I have never heard in the history of fucking WWE Hell in a Cell matches where it ended with a no contest. Last year, we saw Kevin Owens go ahead and avoid from getting an elbow drop from Shane McMahon from the top of the cell, and we still got a finish, and Kevin Owens was pretty fucked up. I'm just so over this show. I'm over this company and what it does. After tonight, you guys are not getting a Raw review from me. I'm going to give you guys a different review. Independent Wrestling, something. I'm going to give you a Ring of Honor pay-per-view event. I am not sitting through this. This is horrendous. The show was good. I gotta give WWE credit, but the main event was what killed the whole fucking show, and they didn't have to do that. They could have Brock Lesnar come in at the end of the match. Why in the middle? Just have a finish. These two guys were laying there for fucking 10 minutes, doing nothing. The show was corrupted. It was fucking in complete chaos between Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. Fucking Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman did nothing. Nothing! Throughout that entire point. And then Brock Lesnar comes in, beats the hell out of those two, and then the match ends? Why didn't they just end the fucking match before Brock Lesnar came in? I mean, they weren't fucking doing nothing then anyway. What a load of bullshit. I'll tell you one thing, I'm glad I don't pay for fucking pay-per-views, because if I did, I'd be throwing a fucking hissy fit right now in comparison to what I'm doing right now. Holy shit, what a fucking horrible main event. What a horrible main event finish. Complete and utter garbage. Fuck WWE and its bullshit propaganda or whatever the hell they're trying to do. They did not help Roman Reigns look good at all. They didn't do anything. They didn't help Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, or anyone in this situation. They made only Brock Lesnar look good because he got the match so badly banged up, got both of these guys whacked out from his attack that they couldn't even get up to finish the match. So they had to call the match itself. He kicks the door in. Fucking freaking Kane had to pull the damn door off its hinges. He was able to do it one quick kick. This whole thing was to help Brock Lesnar look good? Brock Lesnar's leaving this company for fucking UFC at some point. Whenever the hell that is. Get the fuck out of here. There was some really good elements to the show. I have to admit that. But the main event itself was like... it's just like, what? Why bother? Why did you have the match then? The fucking main event with no finish. With a Hell in a Cell match. I'm sorry to tell you folks, but we had Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy kick off the show with the Hell in a Cell match. And they actually had a fucking finish. Same situation, same exact issue. Jeff Hardy looked severely hurt. I mean, really, he did something really fucking insane. He climbed to the top of the ladder. Randy Orton was on the table, and he was swinging off of the little bar on the top of the cell, looking like he was about to do a body splash through Randy Orton while he's on the table. Randy Orton moved out of the way, and he went splat right through the table into the mat, bounced up, and turned around. He looked like he was extremely hurt. Based on, if that was scripted and that wasn't, he didn't really sustain an injury, or that was just part of everything that was going on, that referee was doing a very good acting job, I'll tell you that much. Fucking good job by the referee to make it sound like he was very concerned about Jeff Hardy's health. Unless that was real. If that was real, well, that's a different story. But still, they could have done the exact same thing right there. Say, match over, winner, Randy Orton wins by knockout. That's it. But that wouldn't have been a finish, technically. That's not Randy Orton doing that. There was never a Hell in a Cell match that ever ended by a knockout. You have to win by pinfall or submission. I've never heard of... They just make shit up as they go along. Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy's match was way better than the fucking main event, and that's pretty fucking sad. Really. Because Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy have had millions of matches together. They have been around for a very long time. They've done a lot in this company, and yet they were able to put on a better Hell in a Cell match than the fucking Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Get the fuck out of here. Really. You can take your shitty way of doing things and stick it up your ass, Vince. Because you really disappointed me tonight. Really, you did. And you had a good show. You were finally showing that you could give us something worth watching. And yet you end it like that. You fucking suck. Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy's match was very good. I mean, not like super great or anything, but it was a hell of a lot better than fucking Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. God almighty, man. Randy Orton was bloody on his back. He had cuts all over the side of his, I think his right or left leg, and so forth. So, yeah, it was really not exactly... Jeff Hardy did not... get his ass kicked entirely. I mean, Randy Orton had a pretty bad beating. Randy Orton did something really sick. It was not... They really kind of... I mean, they stuck within the elements of PG as they possibly could based on the match, but they really tried to make this match where it was like how it used to be. And I appreciate that. With the limited capability of what they could do in comparison to what they used to be able to do back in the day, they really tried to make it as close to what they used to be able to do in that ring tonight. I really appreciate what they did. What Jeff Hardy did with his earlobe, what he allowed Randy Orton to do, was absolutely sick. He took a screwdriver. I thought he was going to plant it in his skull like Triple H did to Ric Flair back in Survivor Series of 2005. He took the freaking screwdriver, stuck it through his earlobe that had a hole in it from using those type of earrings that he uses. And he stuck it through the earlobe and started twisting it and twisting it. And it stretched his earlobe out. It was really sick to look at. It was pretty gruesome. I mean, I don't know what the fuck Jeff Hardy's thinking. And then that spot where he just swung from the top of the cell and flew right through the table was pretty fucking deranged too. So overall, I mean, they beat the hell out of each other, just to be short and sweet with this one. I actually enjoyed this one. This was a good opener, and it was a good match. 3.5 out of 5 stars is what I would give this match. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was a good match. Solid matchup, but I don't think that Becky Lynch should have won the title right here at this event. I think she should win it at the Women's Evolution matchup. That's when I think that these two women should have the title change hands. But regardless, it was surprising. It wasn't to be expected. I was expecting Charlotte to retain the title or have it as a double countout to continue on their storyline for the next event. This title change does worry me a little bit because I'm afraid they're going to start doing a hot potato between the two of them, leading Becky Lynch to end up losing the rivalry altogether, not walking away with the title and be successful at the end of this rivalry, which I don't agree with. I think Becky Lynch should walk away with the women's title at the end of this storyline. The storyline should end at Women's Evolution pay-per-view. So, that's the truth of the matter on that whole situation. I think that would probably be the best place to end their rivalry at that point. The next match after that was the tag team title match for the Raw tag titles. This matchup was good. This was definitely a tag team matchup that you don't usually see on the Raw's brand, and it was really well put together. But when you have Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose teaming up against another decent tag team like Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, you're going to get that. So, thank God for that, and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler walk away retaining their tag titles. So that was a good deal. I did enjoy that one. That was I'd say about a 3.75 matchup out of 5. I think it was a very decent matchup of solid tag team action all around. It was back and forth. And there was, all 4 men getting involved at the same time and typical things that you would normally want to see in a tag team matchup to get you excited and revved up, continuing to watch it and building your interest and seeing what happens at the end. And that's what they did. And I really do appreciate all the things that they did in this pay-per-view. As you guys already know, that main event sucked. So, from that point, we had I believe it was the WWE Tag Team, or the WWE Championship match. Excuse me, not tag team. I already talked about that one. The WWE Championship match between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. The ending on this was very good. And some people would say, why would you say that? Samoa Joe won the match. He got screwed. What the fuck's wrong with you? Real simple. It extends the storyline, giving us reason to continue to watch. 2, it makes us gives us a clue that there's a possibility that Samoa Joe is going to eventually walk away as the new WWE champion. After this matchup here, we need to see that. And we need to see that at the Australia event on Saturday, October 6th. In a submission match. Screw this no-holds-barred bullshit or anything else, because the same situation can happen again. They got to make it a submission match. It can't be a no disqual. If they want to make it a no disqualification matchup with submission fall only, that's one thing. But if they want to make it a no holds barred where it's pinfall or submission, no, I would not agree with that because the same situation they could do again. So they were talking about that, and I don't quite understand why Samoa Joe didn't ask for a submission match. One, if the referee was in a better sight of where AJ Styles' hand was, he would have seen that before he counted to 3, which it wasn't the referee's fault, he just was out of place because AJ was smart enough to use his own hand to tap to give Samoa Joe this belief that he actually got the win. And Samoa Joe actually did get the win. But in reality, he didn't because the referee could not see the tap out. So that's how they ended it. Which is the if you want to continue a storyline, that's the best way to do it. Not this title change, we get a rematch bullshit clause stuff. This was a good setup for another matchup, but the truth of the matter is it needs to be in a submission match. They both have submission holds. AJ Styles has a calf crusher, and Samoa Joe has the Keo clutch. So with those two submission holds, I mean, you got something to work with both guys, and it's not predictable. It still gives AJ a believable shot at winning and retaining his championship in a submission match, in which case AJ Styles has never been in so far in this title run that he's in. So I would definitely set that up for a submission, no-holds-barred match. So what else could we talk about here? Oh, yeah. So the next match after that was Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus Miz and Maurice. This match was better than their SummerSlam match. Ain't that coincidental? Ain't that pathetic? They add in their wives and the match was even better than their original matchup one-on-one. What a joke. Bottom line, guys, this matchup was fun and enjoyable. I mean, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE title. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Very decent matchup. Action went back and forth, and it was straight up a good match. This matchup was a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Most of the show was pretty average at best, solid and decent show. That's where I didn't have my gripes with this show, and I'll get in further detail or what have you. Probably won't about the main event, because I've already gotten enough detail as it is. But this matchup with Daniel Bryan with his wife Brie Bella versus Maurice and Miz, this was a good, solid matchup. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Maurice actually picked up the victory by a roll-up pin, and supposedly she was grabbing the tights. I did not see that, personally. It looked like a clean pin, and she just held her really tight to the point where she couldn't kick out, which I honestly think would be a better way of putting it than making Maurice look like a pathetic loser and making Miz look like a loser, where they're not believable characters to actually win a match against Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. So honestly, I think that probably, to me, is incorrect. I did not see any tights being held or anything like that. It looked like she had her held very tightly to the point where she was secured to the mat where she can't move. So that's just how I saw it. Action-wise, it was back and forth. Good tag team action all around. I have no complaints with this match. This match was as good as you're going to get from it. Granted, having the wives involved, it made it, the wrestling per se was not exactly the greatest, but it was okay at best. So I'm not going to complain about that. From there, I believe we had the women's Raw the Raw Women's Championship match with Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. This one was good. I actually really enjoyed this one in the sense of the fact that they gave reason. They explained why we are seeing such a longer match. Because in reality, we all know Ronda Rousey would whip the living shit out of Alexa Bliss at 100%. But they were using a storyline injury with the ribs on Ronda Rousey. So what was the target for Alexa Bliss attacking Ronda Rousey? Her ribs, which is the smart thing to do. It slows Ronda Rousey down. It limits her capability of doing certain moves, which is what happened during this matchup. This was also a very good challenge for Ronda Rousey to sell an injury, giving us the belief and selling us on how she sustained the injury and how she's trying to fight through it to pick up the victory. I felt that she did pretty decently. The ending, though, she kind of acted as if there was nothing wrong with her ribs. Not after the win, but just before the win, she really was acting like everything was fine, which I kind of found a little bit peculiar and weird for her to be doing that. That she should have still kept selling the audience that she was dealing with an injury, but still get to work through that injury and hit that one move that she does before the armbar. But she kind of didn't. That's the only thing I saw that she kind of slipped up with. She could have winced a little bit and, kind of made a slow move into doing the armbar and then finally do it, but she really didn't. She kind of acted like everything was perfectly fine. Which, in my opinion, if you have bruised ribs or broken ribs, you're not going to be fine. You're going to be in severe pain. Bruised ribs, you're going to be in some pretty decent amount of pain, but not anything that's going to keep you from doing anything. But what she does is painful enough if you got bruised ribs. So, that's really where I'm getting at with my whole talking here, rambling on about this. But honestly, if the test for this matchup for Ronda Rousey was to prove that she can sell an injury within a match, she did a decent job. Really, I think that was the whole test and point of this matchup, was to test her with selling an injury. Which again, as I said, I believe she did everything right. It just the ending, I just didn't really see her continuing to sell that injury as much as she was throughout most of the match. But at the end of the day, good match. Alexa Bliss did a decent job. Her being able to work on an injury on Ronda Rousey took away the belief that she's a fucking loser compared to Ronda Rousey and not believable to be able to beat Ronda Rousey at the end of the day. But Alexa Bliss was able to at least have a longer matchup than she did at SummerSlam. That's all I can say on that. But at the end of all of this, Ronda Rousey needed to win. There was no way in hell anyone was going to believe Alexa Bliss was going to walk away as the new women's champion on Raw again. So thank God for that. And then the last matchup, as I already mentioned, was the Braun Strowman-Roman Reigns match. As I've already said before, if you've seen Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman's matchups before in the past, like in 2017, you've seen them all. They're pretty much all the same, very physical brawls, and they really beat the hell out of each other. But, like I said, the ending of this matchup just made complete and utter no sense. Every Hell in a Cell has always ended with a pinfall or submission. Those are the rules of the match. There is no rules. There is a finish. And the finish is one fall. Pinfall or submission. Doesn't matter. Whichever one gets it, wins the belt, wins the match, what have you. They did not do that in this matchup. But they could do that in Randy Orton Jeff Hardy's matchup. Yeah, okay. Look, you guys can go ahead and waste your time trying to figure out WWE. I'm not anymore. I'm tired of being insulted. I'm tired of being treated like a fucking retard. and so forth. I'm still going to give you guys reviews on the pay-per-views, but I don't think I can sit through 3 hours of Raw and watch that shit. SmackDown, maybe they sometimes hit it, sometimes they're a miss, but they don't feel like they're insulting my intelligence on a consistent basis, like Raw does. This was sad, really. This could have been worked out to a finish. They didn't need Brock Lesnar to come in the middle of the match and fuck it up. They sure as hell didn't need Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose in this matchup after they already had a matchup earlier during the night. They didn't need to do any of this. This was just a blown out load of bullshit, making the Universal Championship mean nothing, have no purpose, have no reason to be on this show. They made Roman look bad, and I don't give a fuck about Roman because Roman is a fucking company puppet who does whatever he's told to do and has no voice of opinion or mind of his own. That's why I don't like Roman Reigns. He doesn't care about where he's placed within that company. The only thing he cares about is the dollar bill. That. Cares about the money. He don't care about professional wrestling. He don't care about the character he's portraying on television. He's not caring about the audience. He don't give a fuck if the audience cheers him, boos him, whatever. He loves the fact that he just goes out there, doesn't do a fucking thing, and in this matchup, outside of the about I would say about 8 minutes of this match, him and Braun Strowman were physical with each other. And the rest of the matchup, both of them were laying there for 10 fucking minutes doing nothing. They were already knocked out before Brock Lesnar came. That's pretty fucking pathetic. Very insulting to the customer. It's insulting, most importantly, to the fucking fans that went to see that match. That matchup was, if I went to see that match in person, and I paid for my ticket, and I sat there and I watched that shit, and I see Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns not doing hardly anything for most of the match, I'd be pissed. And I'm pissed right now just because I had to sit through that. I'm going, this is a Universal Championship matchup. This is between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. It shouldn't be about a fucking gang warfare. Leave that for another time. Leave that for the fucking Super Show or something. And Brock Lesnar's case, it would have been fine with him showing up after the match was over or helping one or the other win the fucking match. But my God, at least have a fucking finish. What a joke, man. Really, it was a very enjoyable show. I actually liked watching it, but that main event really pissed me off. And it makes me not even care to watch fucking Raw. I mean, I care about what Undertaker has to say, because quite frank with you, the only good storyline build-up we got going here, through all the 3 pay-per-views that they're hyping up, between Hell in a Cell, the Super Showdown in Australia, and the Women's Evolution event, the fucking matchup between Triple H and Undertaker seems 10 times better, and they're not even doing anything with each other. There's no physical altercations. There's no face-to-face verbal verbiage to each other. Nothing. And they're putting on a better promo and hyping their matchup than any of the other fuckers on this in this company. And why is that? Because they're old. They're the old dogs from the old days when wrestling was fucking good, and that's probably when Vince McMahon actually enjoyed the people he worked with. He doesn't give a fuck about these youngsters. He thinks they're all fucking lazy motherfuckers who don't care about doing anything. So he gives Roman Reigns whatever he wants because he's fucking Rock's cousin or whatever he is. And that's all there is to it. These people are fucking stupid. They're ruining the company as it is. They have a talent roster full of great in-ring competitors. And they have a fucking crap load of talent and they got nothing to show for it. Oh yeah, here's something else that blew my mind. I'm thinking about it now that I'm talking about this. Finn Balor did not have any remote work in this match, in this show. Kevin Owens didn't do nothing. Where's Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley having a matchup? Why didn't that happen? Why didn't we see a one-on-one matchup? I think that probably would have been better than watching this piece of shit main event that we saw. My God, what crap. Anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you like this rant video on this fucking piece of shit pay-per-view that would have been a solid finish if it would have had a fucking ending to it. When you're supposed to have Hell in a Cell, you have an ending. I don't give a fuck what they're doing. I don't care if they're coughing up blood and they're sucking their own cocks in hell. I don't give a shit. You have a fucking ending. You don't have a, oh, they ain't moving. It's over. Your match is over. No, fuck you, damn. The match is over. Brock Lesnar comes in and fucks it all up. Fuck Brock Lesnar. Fuck WWE. Fuck Roman Reigns. And especially fuck Braun Strowman and all this bullshit. And oh yeah, fuck all the entire Shield and the War Dogs. Fuck this bullshit. Hit the subscribe button if you like if you want to subscribe to my channel. If not, then I understand. That's fine. Probably because wrestling absolutely sucks and you don't want to hear my fucking sorry ass bitch and complain about it all the time. Especially when it's the WWE product. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a great night. Bye.